Hi there, this is Tim, Head of Training at Pencil, and today I'm going to be giving you a feature focus on our static template editor. Getting static templates right is essential for getting the most out of Pencil, so let's jump on in and take a look. From our new landing page, we can get to our templates straight away just down at the bottom of the screen, or as ever, we can find them in our template library. Here you will see static templates and video templates, and if you've got a lot of templates you can filter by category or by format type. When we hover over a template in the library, we can go into editing, or from the three dots at the bottom we can use our template to generate, we can duplicate our template, or we can convert statics to videos. I'm going to start by creating a completely fresh new template. We can see straight away we've got multiple formats. So as I add to my template, it will populate into every format. I can delete some of these if I want, and we have a layers panel, which I'll come back to right at the very end of the video. We can change our background, although I'm not going to because I'll do that in a slightly different way in a second, and we can add a layout grid. So we just toggle on view grid, we can change the spacing, the offset, the color of that grid, but I'm going to get rid of that for now. And we can also put in some preset safe zones, but again I'm not going to use that in the template that I'm building right now. To add in elements, we go to the left hand side. I'm going to start with a brand skin. So we build brand skins in the brand library, and you can find out more about that in my brand library video, but that will populate with a few defaults. You can see that my background color has come straight through. It will also populate things like buttons and some typefaces. I'm going to add an asset, so I'm starting with an image asset. I find that in my products, and I can also filter by prediction or filter by type. Obviously in a static template I'm only going to be using static images, which I select. It will populate into my canvas, and then I can reposition it. And I also have some editing features available up at the top. So I'll start by cropping, which will work in much the same way as cropping in any other image editing software. There we go, and I'll press done when I'm ready with that. And by pressing the effects button, I can round off the corners, and I can also change opacity, brightness, contrast, color balance, etc. You can see the options all there. If I want to just replace the image but within the same parameters that I've just set, I can do that and select any other image from my asset library. And I can also mask any image that I've added to my template. So I do that by selecting mask. Then I can select any of my elements. I'll go for this one here. That will then appear over my image to allow me to position it correctly and work out where the masking is going to take effect. And once I'm happy with that positioning and that sizing, I just need to press done. And there we go, perfectly masked. I don't want to keep that in this particular example, so I'm just going to press undo. So our undo and redo are at the top. Next, I'm going to add in a logo. So we get my logo from brand and logos. And I'll select the white one for a nice bit of contrast from my orange bar at the bottom. And I can again resize that, reposition that, add effects as I could with my image asset. I'm actually going to go back to assets and add a transparent product asset as well. And again, the options are the same. You'll see in my formats that that's coming through onto every format, and it just comes through into the middle of the canvas for each format for you to then reposition as is most appropriate for your aspect ratios. If I don't want that to happen, I can use the Edit All Formats toggle. So just to demonstrate that, I'll get rid of that pair of shoes, toggle off Edit All Formats, add it back in, and you'll see it's only come back in my 1:1 aspect ratio. Now I've got those elements in place, I'm going to add some text, and we've got some presets on copy. So I'm going to start by adding a headline. Once I've selected it, I then have some formatting options. So I'm going to change my alignment, and I could also change sizing, position, and I can add some effects here. So I'm going to increase my stroke on this. I can then change my font, and if I uploaded my fonts to my brand library, then I've got them available here directly. And I can go back and keep adding whatever other effects I want to. Doesn't quite fit there, so I'm going to resize it. Currently I've got auto fit toggled on, but from those options up above, you can turn off auto fit. And I think it looks okay here. And this is not a design masterclass, this is just showing you how to use the tool. I'm going to add in a CTA, and you can see it much shorter. I don't need to change the text in here because that will repopulate when I generate. If I select multiple elements, I then get an alignment menu up top, which will distribute evenly, either horizontally or vertically. Although actually, I think I prefer this slightly off center at the moment. And again, I'm going to change my font, and I'm going to change my coloring. So I've got a decent template in place. Again, not a design masterclass. I'm just showing you the features of the tool. And I can see again that this has come through in different formats, and obviously I toggled off edit all formats, so I would now need to go in and add additional other elements in my other formats. I'm going to finish up by renaming my template. You will have your own ways of working around names. I'm just going to call this example static template, but you do need to be careful to organize well. We can also preview all of our formats at once before we finish, which is just a good way to compare and contrast and see them all together. And I said I would finish off just by showing the layers tool. Here I can move individual elements forwards or backwards within the image. We won't really see a difference there because it's not moved behind anything. And we can also toggle visibility of individual layers, as well as being able to delete with the delete icon. And then we've got a menu where we can move up and down, duplicate or copy. Finally, to make sure I don't lose this, I need to save. So when I press save, this will then add in to my template library. Once it's there, it's just loading up. There we go. I can now either use that, or in the case of this particular template, I'm definitely going to go back in and edit and perfect it with a bit more time. So that is our static template editor. We'll be looking at video templates in our next feature focus. So I really look forward to seeing you there. Thank you very much.